Alrighty, right. There is no hat today, and there's a reason. I'm starting a business in a small city, like a town/city, and the people there don't really know me that well yet. Imagine it, it's a place where everyone knows everyone, and I'm an outsider, so everybody kind of remembers me. But they remember me as the Chinese bald guy. In Bisaya, they say the Upao nga Intsik. And I found it really funny and kind of endearing because there was this one time that I parked my car and there was a kid and another guy, and the other guy was like, "Who owns this car?" Of course, they're speaking Bisaya. I'm translating in English. "Who owns this car?" And then the kid goes, "To the bald Chinese guy, sa Upao nga Intsik." And I was standing a few feet away, so I could hear everything. And then the guy goes, "Who, that one?" Pointing at me. And then the kid goes, "Yes, he's bald." In Bisaya, "Oh, Upao na siya." And I found it so funny because the kid could have said, you know, the guy wearing a black cap, the guy wearing a black shirt. He didn't have to say, "Yes, he's bald," as if, yeah, if he removes his cap, he's bald. So I found that a little bit funny. I was giggling the whole time. Another time, there were these people, contractors, who were coming to look for my lot, and they were saying, you know, "Where's the lot of Mr. So-and-so?" And they said, "Oh, we don't know him, but is that Chinese?" And then the guy goes, "Yes, Chinese." And then everybody says, "Oh, we don't know that guy, but we know there's one Chinese guy here who owns a lot here. He's the only Chinese who owns a lot, and he's bald." I'm like, really? That's what they said? And then lastly, I was trying to check my water meter, and then there was a lady there who was doing the laundry. And so I struck up a conversation with her, and then she goes, "Are you the same guy who bought the land years ago?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's me." She goes, "I don't remember you. I just remember the guy was Chinese." And then I removed my hat because I was wearing a cap at the time. I removed my cap and she goes, "Oh yeah, it's you." So everybody there knows me as Upao nga Intsik, the Chinese bald guy. And I wanted to talk about this because I thought about how we are known not just by our looks, not just by our race or our hair or lack of it. We're known by our deeds, and eventually I don't want to be remembered as the Chinese bald guy who built a house, you know? I want to be known as maybe the Chinese bald guy who's a Christian who did good things for our community because of his faith. And that's a challenge I want to put out there to all Christians. And I'm not saying, what you're doing, preaching the gospel, is either enough or not enough. That's not my point. So please don't say that, if you're a Christian and you preach the gospel and that's it, it's not enough. That's not what I'm trying to say, okay? What I am saying is, if you're a Christian, it's great to preach the gospel. And as much as that is our call, and I'm not saying it's enough to do that or not enough to do that, I'm saying if it resonates with your heart, I want to give you an extra challenge. And the challenge is to look for ways to actually better the community, better the people around you, help them to change their lives for the better because of your faith. Right? That's what I'm really wanting to challenge every believer, because I have met so many Christians who say, as long as I preach the gospel, that is enough and I'm done. A lot of times, theologically that's true. Doctrinally, that's true. Preach the gospel, it's the Lord who will do everything else. Amen. I say amen to that. At the same time, we have to recognize that this is also a world where when you do good things, when you do good to your neighbor, when you love others, when you show practical love to others, people respond in ways that are even more open, more responsive, more positive. They might even be willing to listen to the message more. I'm not saying, again, I'm a Calvinist. I'm not saying that you got to do all these good deeds just so they will listen. But from a very realistic point of view, we don't also just want to preach the gospel and say, I don't care if you listen or not because it depends on God if you're elect or not. So I'm just going to preach the gospel and then have at it with God. I don't want to be that kind of Calvinist also. I want to be the kind of Christian that actually preaches the gospel and then shows love to others who listen to the gospel from me in practical ways. And I think as Christians, we all on some level agree. We all on some level, I'm not saying all, I'm not saying everyone, gotta make this disclaimer so people don't get unnecessarily offended, but I think all Christians have on some level this conviction that preaching the gospel is good, but preaching the gospel while doing good deeds is better. All right? I'm not, again, just go back to the qualifiers, okay? I'm not going to keep qualifying over and over again. But the challenge is, what are your skills? What are your talents? What are some things that God has uniquely given you, equipped you, or God specifically gave you a certain set of skills, like Liam Neeson, right? I have a certain set of skills, right? But what are some skills that you have that you know comes from the Lord, that you also know might be able to help others, might be able to improve the lives of others, might help better the lives of the people around you? And some people might feel that, are you saying that the gospel isn't enough? No. I am saying the gospel is enough, but it wouldn't hurt to actually show practical love to the people around you as well. And if it helps the case for the gospel in a human point of view perspective, why not? Right? That's really all I'm saying. I remember this scene. I'm going to end with this. I remember this scene in Fireproof. It's the Christian movie with Kirk Cameron about marriage. And there was a discussion between, not Kirk Cameron, it was a discussion between two other guys in the fire station. And one guy actually said that there's a lot of things he doesn't understand about the faith, about Christianity. It's just difficult for him to believe in Christianity and all of that stuff. And he goes, "You really believe our captain? You really believe our captain is like this Christian guy and, heaven and Jesus and blah, 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 blah." Now, the other dude, who was, I think, a Christian also in the movie, he was playing a Christian in the movie, he said, "You can disbelieve whatever you want about Christianity as a whole, as a religion, but you can't deny the fact that Captain so-and-so, he's a legit Christian. He walks the talk. He lives, I don't remember the exact scene. I don't even know if it was the captain or not. But my point is, when we live lives that exemplify, that really show that we live the way we preach, we live in such a way that we want to honor Christ in everything we do, and it helps other people, it brings other people peace, comfort, joy, and even conviction in our preaching, they won't be able to deny that at least what God has done in our lives is true. And that's something I want to challenge everyone. Take a look at your life, examine your life. I'm not just saying be consistent. I'm not just saying, avoid blatant sin, because avoiding sin is great, but it's even better if we not only avoid sin, but intentionally actually do good deeds for the people around us. It can start as simple as baking something for your neighbor, maybe cooking something for your neighbor, and just say, "Hi, I'm your neighbor. We've never met before. We'd like to get to know you. Here's some food." It could be as simple as that. Or it could be whatever. You're going to the gym, you're trying to get to know, people. If you're good at maybe the forms in lifting the weights or whatever, maybe you can give some advice to others who are just starting out, encourage them. Little things like that. Maybe God made you an encourager. Maybe God gave you the skill of instruction in teaching. If not the gym, maybe cooking. If not cooking, maybe arts and crafts or something like that. But find ways, right? Find ways to be able to really encourage one another, encourage others, and show them that your faith isn't just kept in between or inside the four corners of your room in private, but it can actually affect others in a good way when you leave the four corners of your room. God bless you guys. I hope this challenged you, and I hope this is something that convicted you as well. God bless.